Hello, I'm Robert Kelly, and today on Record All Monsters, Gamera vs. Zigra, and the beginning of the end.
They know too much about us, and this spaceship, and our secret plans to conquer the Earth and make it our colony. You must find them and kill them.
I have understood, Master. I shall kill them both, and then I'll also destroy the entire population.
No, do not kill the people. It would be a very foolish mistake. On Earth, the people live on land and eat the things living in the sea. But it is just the opposite with us. We live in the sea and eat things living on land. At present, the Earth people have large stocks of food on their docks and in their warehouses. So, you see, it would be unwise to kill the Earth creatures. We must conquer them. Let them live so they can become our slaves.
I understand, Master Zigra.
Good. So follow the children and kill only those two. Is that clear?
Yes.
We've said goodbye, at least temporarily, to several key figures in our continuing story this season. Ishiro Honda is retired at this point, Eiji Tsuburaya has died, and Satomasa Arikawa has left the industry. We've also said goodbye to some one-off monsters. Goodbye, Giant Claw. Goodbye, Giant Behemoth. Adios, mis amigos, Gorgo y Reptilicus. Kanga, Gorga, Frankenstein, and his gargantuan progeny, Gilala, Gappa, Yongari, and even the stars of our last episode were one-and-done monsters for decades. As successful as the genre was, outside of the Godzilla and Gamera series, none of these myriad imitators had been able to launch a big-screen franchise. One by one, the pillars are falling, and now only two remain. And today one of those two topples. Gamera vs. Zigra is the last Gamera film in the original Showa-era continuity. Daiei and Noriaki Yuasa were able to crank it out between the release of Gamera vs. Jiger and when the studio filed for bankruptcy. It hits all of the expected notes, does the song and dance, and does it all cheaper and worse than any previous Gamera movie. While they were never what anyone would call high art, even by the genre's often low standards, this is a huge downgrade from the previous two films. The fights are okay, the kids are younger than they've ever been, and SeaWorld was not as generous a production partner as AIP and Expo 70 had been. The fallout of Daiei's bankruptcy was far-reaching, and no one was hit harder than Gamera series writer Nissan Takahashi. Daiei owed him a considerable amount of money, 3 million yen by his own accounting. Takahashi was unable to collect unemployment since he had never joined the Screenwriters Union. Eventually, executives from the defunct studio told him he had the rights to Gamera. This was adequate compensation for him for a time. He wrote an original Gamera novel just before the Gamera Heisei series kicked off in 1995. Takahashi was not consulted by Daiei's new owning and parent company, Kadokawa, who said that since their Daiei was not the same Daiei that made the deal with him, they were under no obligation to consult or pay Takahashi. The details aren't quite clear, but it was agreed that he would receive royalties from the new films and screenings of the old ones. Takahashi passed away in 2015. Noriaki Yuasa, someone whose name I used to have to look up every time I wrote about a Gamera movie in Season 1, is now kind of a hero to me. After this film, he primarily worked in TV, including directing episodes of Ultraman 80. We will see him again next season, but just for one movie, and for now, I want to say farewell to the man whose vision of a series of giant monster movies for children, for good or for ill, indelibly changed the trajectory of the genre. Gamera began as a surprise hit cash grab on the Godzilla series, and for a time surpassed the Kaiju King in popularity and box office attendance, before going out with a whimper. Even though this chapter of the Gamera story closes on a downswing, these films do something that I think even the Godzilla films of the Showa era never actually did. They had set a particular tone and stuck to it consistently and perfectly. Too perfectly, repeating themselves until even the least discerning of fans were asking, what else is out in theaters? What else is on TV? But all of that said, the original Gamera series films are all unquestionably Gamera movies. And that means that they are, unquestionably, Noriaki Yuasa movies.
Gamera, thank you! Thank you, Gamera! Gamera, see you soon! Goodbye, Gamera!
Hello, I'm Robert Kelly, and welcome back to Record All Monsters, where today's very special guest is Courtney.
Hello.
She is here. She is queer, and we love her for it. And we're here today to talk about the last in continuity Showa Gamera movie.
Yeah.
Gamera vs. Zigra.
Yeah.
And, Courtney, what do you have to say about this film?
I didn't think it was gonna be as brought to you by SeaWorld as it was. That was, interesting.
Well, it was brought to you by SeaWorld.
Because I, like many, have seen the documentary Blackfish and am disturbed.
I feel like I should point out here that even the makers of Blackfish don't call it a documentary.
Oh.
They admit they have an angle that they're pushing.
Oh.
And while many, like, all of the events portrayed happened, a lot of the wild accusations of negligence and stuff are overblown.
Ah.
Not that SeaWorld is like the
I mean,
best or
they're
anything.
whales.
Yes, anytime you have wild animals, and one of the things is breeding them in captivity is safer because not that there should be a breeding program. What they're doing now is they're phasing it out.
The killer whales, yes.
Yes, which is good, but
they belong in the wild.
They do, and SeaWorld has helped the conservation.
Yes, I know they've probably done more to help than hurt, but that's just a very now that we know.
Well, and the thing is, I believe the bull whale in question who did the most damage, who I always want to call Tillamook, like the cheese.
Tillicum.
He was born in the wild and raised in captivity.
Gotcha.
So his social skill set is weird.
This is not a podcast about debating Blackfish, though.
No. Courtney, you're right. We're here to talk. Can you tell we don't have a whole lot to say about this one?
Yeah.
It's a Gamera movie.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a Gamera movie. I see a lot of really harsh criticism of this one in reviews.
It's not that bad.
I'm gonna pull one out. This is from Stuart Galbraith.
Is it like cinema with a capital C and apostrophe over one of the other letters? No. But is it enjoyable? Yes. Does it have an undersea spaceship that looks like a gumball machine?
Well,
yes, and I love it.
I'm just going to go through some highlights of Stuart Galbraith IV's review of it in Japanese science fiction, fantasy, and horror films. This is the, I think it's the first edition I have here.
Publisher?
Publisher is McFarlane Books. And yes, this is from 1994. His first edition through McFarlane Books, who, if you're listening, I have a book ready to go about monster movies. McFarlane Books. So, he starts with the Gamera series ground to a halt with the tiresome Gamera vs. Zigra. It finally reached American shores in 1987, but by then nobody really seemed to care. It's a terrible picture with production values below even the similar teleseries that were appearing in Japan at the time. So, the budget is not anyone creatively involved with the movie's fault.
Yes.
I also think the budget is about on par with most of the other Showa Gamera movies.
Yeah. Well, I like any movie with giant monsters or aliens coming out of the ocean instead of space. I mean, I do love a good space opera. I love sci-fi. But I also think that aliens coming from the ocean is very interesting, and it's not something that you see as often,
right,
a la Pacific Rim.
No, I think that's great, and we will get to Pacific Rim on this show, and I think we have it scheduled for a potential 4th season.
Woo!
But it's just so strange to me, because this is pretty much just on par with the Gamera movies.
Yeah.
The issue with it is that it is...
I thought I liked it a little more than some of the earlier ones.
Well, I mean...
I just thought it was fun.
One of the difficult things with the Gamera movies is the first two are probably of the best quality.
Yeah.
But Gamera has such a... such a style, kind of starting in the third film, that in retrospect, those are kind of dull.
Yeah. I love how he's always, looking to the side. Just the design on that is A+.
One of the things I liked about it that a lot of people complain about is that the alien Zigra just talks. He just talks like a guy.
I mean, what do they want?
It's like, hello, I'm here to conquer the world.
I like that he looks like a goblin shark.
Yeah, he's based off of one.
Because goblin sharks look like aliens. Have you ever seen any of those Blue Planet ones about the deep sea? Those things look like aliens. But they're not.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
True.
No. The thing with the Gamera movies at this point is... Well, first of all, I want to say that we get another strong butch lady alien.
Oh, yeah.
Which, there wasn't one in Gamera vs. Zigra, but they were in Gamera vs. Giron, and there will be a whole lot of butch lady aliens in Gamera Super Monster when we get to that. So yeah, this one's really just Gamera by numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Except the white kid in this one is half Asian, half Japanese.
That's cool.
And a girl.
Indeed.
Usually the white kid is a subservient white boy.
Also, the kid is actually named Kenny.
Yes, we get another real Kenny. I think this might be the only actual Kenny named Kenny.
Yeah.
No, Ken was the name of the kid in Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, which will be the next episode, which I think I'm gonna just do next week since it's the live episode and it's ready to go.
Yes.
So yeah, next week we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on the Patreon though, you've already heard it.
Yeah.
If you're on the Patreon.
If you want to be.
Yeah. You want to be? There's just not so much to talk about with this movie, so I'll explain what I just did there. In the fourth Shrek movie, Shrek Forever After, Shrek comes up a lot on this podcast, I feel like.
Does it?
It's come up enough that I have noticed it. Maybe we should do like a mini Shrek-isode.
Shrek episode.
In the fourth one at the beginning, Rumpelstiltskin is reading a fairy tale book in the bookstore where Pinocchio works, apparently. And Pinocchio tells him, you have to buy that book or leave.
Mm-hmm.
And Rumpelstiltskin tells him, look, we can make a deal. We can make a deal. Don't throw me out, little boy. And Pinocchio goes, oh, I'm not a real boy. And Rumpelstiltskin goes, do you want to be? And it makes me laugh so much. And when Courtney and I were on our anniversary trip back in March, that Shrek 4 was on.
I had never seen it.
And she'd never seen it. And
because
we only
was like, why do we need more than 2 Shreks?
We watched the first 30 minutes because we had a dinner reservation to get to. But it was I made sure she saw that part.
Yeah.
Because it makes me laugh so hard.
It was pretty good.
Anyway, Gamera versus Zigra. Any highlights for you, Courtney?
I actually thought maybe they weren't gonna make it, which I know they were, because this is a Gamera movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked pretty bad for them for a little while.
Oh yeah, the water's flooding into the submarine.
Yeah.
Another submarine. I think this is how many submarines in a row?
And those kids just snuck on board, and the mom was like, oh my god, they're gonna die.
Again, this is all par for the course. It's Gamera by numbers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of, if you're watching them all in a row, like I have been, yes, it is a little tiresome. But think about the kids seeing this when they were first being released.
Oh yeah, it has those sea lion scenes.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's if you are into the goofy edge of the Godzilla films, I think you would like this movie.
It's sweet and good-natured, and I forget who does the commentary. Oh, not on this one, but the commentary. I'm speaking with my back to the microphone. It's riveting radio. Let's see. David Callett does the commentary for Gamera vs. Gurren on these Blu-rays, and he makes a wonderful point at the end of the commentary where he says something to the effect of, hey, these movies were made for 8-year-old Japanese kids.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, well, are you an 8-year-old Japanese kid?
Yes.
And
not me personally, but yes, the sentiment.
And then he goes on to say, and by the way, you bought this box set, you're listening to this commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Something about this movie has worked.
Yeah.
And I gotta agree with him, and I'm looking forward to hearing the commentary by Richard Pusateri on Gamera Super Monster when we get to that, because he did the wonderful audio commentary for Godzilla's Revenge when Classic Media put that out.
Yeah. I think this is one that we definitely need to show our niece.
Yeah, I think the Gamera films in general are pretty good to show younger kids who are like afraid of things, because one, the kids are always in control of the situation.
They have agency. And when they're not in control, Gamera saves them. Yes.
So it's almost like comforting somehow.
Mm-hmm. It's like a superhero movie.
Yeah, very much. Well, that's the thing. These are superhero movies, and we talk a lot more about that in some of the coming episodes, especially in context of Godzilla being a superhero. And again, I'll read a little bit out of Galbraith's book again, which, again, I don't necessarily agree with. Gamera vs. Zigra is a cheap, depressing little film. Metro the Picture is nothing less than a blatant product endorsement urging kiddies in the audience to visit SeaWorld, with various sea mammals doing all manner of tricks and stunts for the cameras.
I liked that part.
I did too. The bratty kids quickly get on everyone's nerves, while all the adults are depicted as incompetent adults.
I mean,
that has been every Gamera movie since the third one, though.
Yeah, like, what do you expect, dude?
There is almost no logic in Fumi Takahashi's script, which I'll point out, I believe in later editions of this book, Galbraith does correct it to the correct name of the screenwriter, which is Nissan Takahashi.
Ooh.
It's not necessarily his fault. In the West, for a long time, Nissan Takahashi was credited as Fumi Takahashi.
Okay.
A lot of nitpicking and stuff. Just, that's not what this movie's about.
You know what you are watching.
Yeah.
It's a silly Gamera movie, and as soon as it starts talking about SeaWorld, so you know that's like the big funder of this movie.
Gamera versus Zigra, not Zigra, that's this one.
Producer, there we go.
Gamera versus Jiger, the previous Gamera movie, had been is widely considered to be the best the best kid-focused Gamera movie. And it was funded in part by Expo 70.
Yes.
So, who were a much more generous sponsor than SeaWorld, it seems.
But also, like, they're constantly talking about Expo 70 in Gamera vs. Jagger. Why is it any different here with SeaWorld?
Yeah. I'm assuming it was brand new around that time.
I think it was. Because the park seems, in a lot of the footage, like, kind of empty and small, so I feel like it's even before they've really opened to the public.
Well, they would probably film it while there's no people. But...
I would think you would want to, as Red Letter Media says, shoot the rodeo.
Yeah, like, fair point.
But anyway, we're gonna. We talked a little bit about Zigra. There's a shark monster.
Yeah, he was cool.
I like Zigra a lot, and again, I like his dopey voice, and he's like narrating everything he does.
Yeah, like, and then when he's like kind of in the spaceship, but like you don't really see him as clearly to begin with. When the alien lady is talking to the kids.
His head's just like up on the wall.
Yeah, his head's poking out like one of those big mouth bass toys.
And one of the parts of that I love is she's like, we could kill everyone now. And he was like, don't do that. I want to kill them later. It's just fun. Yeah. It's just fun. I would say, like, if you're... First of all, I would say don't do a Gamera movie marathon. Because they're...
mostly the same.
Yeah. Pick one. Watch it. Enjoy it. Have a good time.
Yeah. Watch some other movies, then watch another one.
Yeah. Like...
at a different date.
Space them out. Space them out. But this one...
He's a friend to all children.
He's the friend of all children. And that's where we're going to leave this at before we transition into our game show segment, which is called A Shark Jumping.
Oh. Like the fawns.
Hello, welcome back to Record All Monsters. We're still here with our special guest, producer extraordinaire, my wife.
Hi.
And we're here to play the game now. Shark jumping.
Yes.
All right.
Do I get to jump over sharks?
Sure, why not? Do it now.
Yay! I did it!
Wow! So impressive. Listeners, you should have seen it. To jump the shark is an expression that usually means a long-running series has reached the point where it is so ridiculous it has lost its audience and popularity.
Like Archie, or Riverdale.
The phrase originates with the 70s sitcom Happy Days. In the show's 5th season, popular character Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli wore his leather jacket to the beach and jumped over a shark on water skis.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the show was still incredibly popular in the aftermath, most people look back on this moment as the beginning of the end for the series, which would run for 6 more seasons. Today's film is definitely a moment of shark jumping for the Gamera franchise.
I don't know if I agree with that.
No, literally. He jumps over Zigra.
Oh my god! I'm such an idiot!
Now, let us look to our own recent past. Long ago, in days of old, pop culture on the internet was discussed not in the current forms of video essays and podcasts, but in the now dated video review. While not dissimilar to the modern video essay, the online video review was usually focused on a particular movie, TV show, or video game with an eye towards comedy instead of actual textual analysis. One of the online video review series that began this shift toward the video essay proper was written and performed by Beth Elderkin, former editor at IO9, Gizmodo, and others, along with her husband, Tim. The series, called Shark Jumping, looked at popular TV shows to determine when, if ever, they jumped the shark, and if it conformed to the conventional wisdom. In today's game, Courtney, I will mention a TV show, and your job will be to tell me if it was ever featured on the no longer extant video series.
Okay.
If you win, you will get to be the star of your own popular network sitcom. If you lose, you'll be forced to enter an already popular sitcom in decline as a gimmicky character.
Oh no, Cousin Oliver.
Just kidding, no prizes or penalties, blah, 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 blah. Alright, question 1. Are you ready, by the way?
Yeah.
You understand how to play?
Yeah.
Do you love me?
Yeah.
Stop playing love games. Question 1. Was How I Met Your Mother covered on Shark Jumping?
When did the show run to? Shark
Sh-
Jumping.
Shark Jumping?
Mm-hmm.
Shark Jumping ran from 2014 to 2017.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Though I don't remember what Shark Jumping determined to be the definitive moment, most contemporary sources say it was season 5's finale, with even positive reviews noting it wasn't particularly good or funny. Question 2. Was Laverne and Shirley covered on Shark Jumping?
I'm guessing no, but it should be.
It was not. And Laverne and Shirley was a perfect show against which I will hear no slander. There's also, I want to shout out a Laverne and Shirley podcast called Night After Night that I listen to sometimes. Really like it. I'll tag y'all on Twitter when I post this episode. I know y'all don't normally have guests, but I'd like to throw my hat in the ring. Love Laverne and Shirley. And I like your show.
We watch the show a lot.
We do.
On Pluto.
It's on Pluto TV. But you have to find it.
Yeah.
And I will also say thank you for the discovery I had of Johnny Cash singing the Laverne and Shirley theme song for a Nissan commercial in the late 80s. Question 3. Was Community covered on Shark Jumping?
Yes.
No, it was not.
Damn.
Although the conventional wisdom says that Season 4, or the gas leak year, was a blow the show never recovered from, to my memory, the quality was consistent throughout all 6 seasons, and hopefully a movie? That's a reference.
I know.
Question 4. So, you are 2-1. Question 4. Was Glee covered on Shark Jumping?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Did you ever watch this? 'Cause
no.
you have this knowing grin.
Well, I watched a lot of TV from that period of time.
Though Shark Jumping's catalog has been wiped from the internet, the actual videos, and I therefore can't see what they said, looking at a combination of Nielsen ratings and contemporary critical reception, the show took a hard nosedive after the 2nd season.
I would say maybe after 3 or 4.
Apparently, just critically and ratings-wise, the 3rd season was much less well-regarded and much less watched.
Yeah.
At that point...
We had our own stuff to do.
Well,
I was in college, Robert.
I did my research. I always do a lot of research on these questions, and I don't always use all the information in my answer. But I did think it was interesting to note that Fox largely kept Glee around after that because they made so much money in soundtrack sales.
Yes.
On iTunes. Because every week they'd put out a new, 5-song EP.
Yes.
With the songs from the episode.
Yes.
And charge full album price for it, and kids paid for it.
Yeah. My favorite was always Tina.
I don't know anything about Glee. I didn't watch it.
It's okay.
I know that,
It's not great.
I know that there was a black girl who had the stereotypical big singing voice.
She has a good voice.
Well, I know, but like the way the series treated it.
Yeah. There were a lot of stereotypes on that show.
I also frequently confuse it with High School Musical. Specifically the snobby mean girl characters who like to sing and stuff.
Yeah.
And have a history about their nose in actual real life. I just forget which one has the blonde and which one has the brunette.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yes, it was covered. 3-1, Courtney. You've won the game.
Yay.
But there is one more question. Was Boy Meets World covered on Shark Jumping?
No.
No. But yes? They did an episode covering ABC's long-running teen-focused programming block, TGIF.
Yes. Every sleepover I ever went to had that.
Which featured a brief look at Boy Meets World within the larger context of TGIF. But they never dedicated an episode proper to the series. So you were going to get a point either way.
Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people didn't like the college years, but I did, so...
I barely remember that. And again, I think I'm confusing it with that 70s show. But I think they made a big point when they went to college about co-ed bathrooms.
Yes.
I think that might have been in that 70s show, though.
No,
that was Boy Meets World?
Yes.
Okay. Just a vague memory.
Yeah.
I had things to do when that was on.
Yeah. Well, I had sleepovers to go to, and people's hair to braid.
See, when I had sleepovers on a Friday night, we typically watched, like, Cartoon Network or monster movies. So.
That too.
Um,
This is an all-night affair.
I did not like it when a sleepover actually went all night, like, to the morning. I much preferred when everyone kind of pooped out around 1 or 2.
Yeah. It was always TGIF. Then ice cream sundaes or something. Baking wise, maybe. Then paint nails, do hair or makeup. And then watch a scary movie. And then watch a silly movie. So we aren't all scared.
See, I have never... Scary movies have never prevented me from sleeping. They have scared me. I remember specifically when I was in, like, 3rd grade. I had just seen Horror of Dracula starring Christopher Lee for the first time. And Peter Cushing. But I wasn't afraid of Dr. Van Helsing. I was afraid of Dracula. Which I didn't think I'd be afraid of Dracula. I wasn't really scared when I watched the movie. But when I came downstairs to get a drink of water later that night, my sister had a black dress that was hanging in the kitchen.
Oh no!
We have these pillars with ridges at the top, and it was hanging from one of those pillars. And it was
Dracula!
And it was just above our humidifier / vaporizer, which had a... you filled it up with water and it made steam to keep the air moist. Because both my dad and I get dry nose real easily, which leads to many nosebleeds.
Yeah.
But when the water was low, there was a little light on the top that was green when the water wasn't low. And then when the water was low, it turned red.
That's like a perfect storm there.
It really was. And also, when the water was low, it didn't, like, conserve the water. It just, like, started shooting steam. So I was going downstairs to get some water. Blah, 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 blah. Air conditioner comes on and rustles the dress. And I look, and the light turns from green to red, and the steam starts shooting out. And I'm just like,
were you like? Oh, man.
But anyway, that's our episode about Gamera versus Zigra.
Yeah. I'm sorry that we didn't have more to say.
It's a Gamera movie. I think I said in the essay portions, it's difficult at this point to write about the Gamera movies.
It's enjoyable.
It is.
Watch it. It's good to have on if you're like coloring, or I don't know if any of you guys or gals or non-binary pals are colorers, but I like to color and watch movies, and it's good for that. It's good for if you're scrolling through your phone and you can still watch it and understand what's going on.
Yeah, and I do like puzzle games on my phone, and I go
Yeah.
back and forth with that. So it's a Gamera movie of its vintage. I would say, like, don't follow it with Gamera versus Giron or something that's basically the same. But
It's got some cool monsters.
yeah, and that's what we're here to do. But Courtney, since you're our guest today, and we normally record the outros together, why don't we just knock out the outro right here?
Okay.
What are our social medias? You should ask me that.
What are our socials?
Well, Courtney, you'll be happy to know that we're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And now, thanks to our social media manager, who was a guest on our previous episode,
Amberly.
Amberly, we're also on TikTok. I posted an, in my opinion, hilarious video of Godzilla emerging from the iceberg in King Kong vs. Godzilla, and the iceberg is labeled COVID-19, and Godzilla is labeled Robert, handsomer than ever, and he breaks out of the iceberg, just like I emerged from the cocoon of COVID-19 a little while ago.
Yeah, we both had COVID and it really sucked.
It stunk.
Would not recommend. I'm really glad we were vaccinated.
I don't want to know what that would have been like without the vaccine.
Yeah.
Booster.
But would not recommend. 0 out of 10.
I'd give it 2. 2 stars out of 10. Mostly because I was already falling behind on sleep and stuff before I got it.
Yeah.
And so I had like basically 4 days of unbroken sleep.
Get your sleep. Eat your veggies.
That's like what, 96 hours of sleep I did?
Yeah.
I was just on the couch. I don't even remember like days. I woke up and Courtney fed me soup. And then
I got sick.
yeah. So
It's okay. It was worth it.
but yes, we're on all those social media things. On Twitter, it's at Monsters Record. On Instagram, it's at Record All at recordallmonsters.pod. On Facebook, just go ahead and type in Record All Monsters Podcast, and
Yeah.
I am double checking
At
Record All Oh, damn! I misspelled the name of the show on our TikTok.
Oh.
It's Record All Monsters, except the first S is an A.
Record all monsters.
Record All Monators Pod.
Monitors. Gotcha.
Record All Monators Pod.
Can you change it?
I'm gonna try. But I'm gonna try. I'm trying. Hopefully we can fix this now. Here on the air, live. I don't think we can do it.
Very few cartoons are broadcast live.
It's a terrible strain on the animator's wrists. Edit profile. There we go.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh no, I'm gonna edit like some spy music or something.
Okay.
Okay. It's fixed. We are now Record All Monsters Pod on TikTok.
Yay!
And,
Mission accomplished. Go us.
Amberly, why didn't you tell me that? Maybe that's why you couldn't log into my TikTok at first. Anyway, we also have an email account.
It's okay. There's a lot going on in our lives.
There really is. We also have an email account. It is at recordallmonsterspod@gmail.com. You can send us an email. We've gotten a few, and we're kind of banking up for a monster mailbag at the end of the season.
Ew.
Um,
Yeah. Just right. Anything you want.
Anything you want to talk to us about, anything you want to hear us talk about on the show.
Your favorite monsters. We always like that stuff.
Yeah, that's always fun. Any questions you have, any debates you want settled.
What if you just want to say hi?
If you just want to say hi, we'll read it out here on the air. If you have coupons for restaurants that are chains that we might have a location of nearby. We also have a Patreon, Record All Monsters. There's 3 tiers, $1, $5, $10. At all tiers, you get all the bonus content. But at King of the Monsters tier, which is $10 a month, you get a shout-out and a monthly AMA. And so, just going to shout out our $10 patron, John M. Thank you. And
You rock.
You rock. You roll. You got a lot of soul. I don't know. So I think with all that, we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'll wrap it up. So yes, next week I will actually be posting the Gamera versus. This is the Gamera versus Zigra episode. I'll be posting the Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Smog monster.
Yes, the live episode. That one, I promised you that I would never do a 90-minute episode again, but I lied. The version that's on the Patreon is 90 minutes. I'm going to clean it up a tiny bit before I release it into the wild. So it'll probably be a little shorter. But between now and then, it would do you good to remember. What are they supposed to remember, Courtney?
Monsters are your friends.
Yeah.